Hello, everybody. It's RJ. I am back. I'm in a different place, as you may notice from the trees on the wall. They're not real trees. I'm in a hotel room in Nashville, and I got to go to the show last night, which I'm going to get into in a minute. We're going to bring my friend Seth in. There's a podcast conference here called Podcast Movement this week in Nashville, so a bunch of us are here. And yesterday, I got to meet a bunch of people and give out some koozies and stickers and stuff. So if you're going to be at the show tonight, come find us or look for us. I'll have this Osiris shirt on. But it's really fun to be back seeing shows. And before we get Seth in here, I just want to say that this is brought to you by Shift Genuine Cannabis. Hope everyone saw the contest announcement yesterday. We are in partnership with Shift, giving away 2 tickets to the 30th of October and the 31st of October for Halloween in Vegas, airfare and accommodations. It's pretty sweet. You can go to shiftcannabis.com to enter. You can enter every day if you want to. So check out shiftcannabis.com and enter that contest. I think Seth's going to enter. We'll find out in a minute. And otherwise, please post your comments wherever you're watching. Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking about the show. I'm going to bring in Seth, who Seth and I got to hang out in person yesterday. What's up, man?
We did. What's up, RJ? I'm gonna have to come find you and get one of those koozies because gotta keep your beer cold here in the hot South.
Exactly. One funny thing at the venue is they have Did you get any water? Did you get a can of the water?
Yeah, the can of water, and I had no idea what I'm like. I went at one point to go grab a water, and I only saw. I was looking for like a bottle of water, and then they handed me this can. What was it called? It had some crazy name that made it.
Death. Was it called Death Juice or?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Kind of awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Made me feel very badass as I was hydrating. But
yeah, exactly. I had a bunch of those. And I think every person probably said the same thing that I said to the lady, which is like, no, I wanted a water, not a beer. And she's like, no, it is water. So it's a 16-ounce tall boy can of water. Anyway, Seth, we got to tour the Ryman Auditorium yesterday. That was really cool.
It was an incredible way. This is my first time in Nashville.
Me too.
And we flew very early in the morning yesterday from New York, got in, luckily checked in early, had a fantastic breakfast at Biscuit Love. Big shout out to those guys. And then ran over to the Ryman, and that was very high. I'm here for about 3 days, full day tomorrow, and number one on my list was really to make sure I got to do the tour of the Ryman, and it was really special. It just put me in a great mood, and I think for me to really have a good feel for what Nashville is all about, along with just the whole kind of shit show going on Broadway. It's a really cool town. Everybody here is super friendly, and the weather has been great. I know it was really hot the first leg of the tour down in Arkansas and Alabama, and the weather has been outstanding. It's been really great, and I probably put down about 20,000 steps yesterday, just getting all over town, kind of working off the Biscuit Love and the barbecue, and obviously getting some dance moves going, and just great to be back at a Phish show. It's been, my last one was New Year's Eve with Trey stuck on the platform, and it's been a long time coming. So
crazy, man.
Very, very happy to get back in and get my feet on the ground again.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it was my first show since Mexico, and equally, it was. I think some other people that we've had on have said, it felt sort of normal. I didn't feel like a lot of heavy emotions or anything. It was just sort of like getting back to normal, which was really fun. Even though it felt sort of normal at times, and then like not at all normal at other times, which we can talk about.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I remember when you had Scotty B on a couple of days ago, and he said it was just kind of like riding a bike, and you don't really forget. And we've seen enough shows at this point to say like, okay, here we are. It's a punch you in the eye opener. We're back. That's great. I think the emotions for me actually came a little bit later in the show, as I'd say, like, the band kind of picked up some of the intensity and some of the improv that was really hoping for. But just getting there, we were on the lawn and Ascending Amphitheater. It's just a cool little venue. It's right downtown Nashville. You've got the bridges and the skyline around you. It's totally open air. The lawn, there was plenty of space, and we were maybe, I'd say, 20 feet back on the lawn, Mike's side. And to me, it's like the front of the 200s at a Camden or a Pav like that. You are not far. There are no bad seats whatsoever. You can see what the band is doing anywhere in that venue. So it's just flat out fantastic place to see a Phish show.
Yeah, really cool. I was in 103, I think. I keep getting confused, but in the aisle, and there was plenty of room, and I was with some friends, and it was a great evening. What did you think about the scene and going in and safety and all that? How did you feel, going in versus how you thought you'd feel?
Yeah, and definitely had thought about it and read a lot of like the comments, and I had a feeling that masks were not very plentiful around. But as we went in, I was very happy to see, especially kind of that crunch of people. We had to wait about maybe 10 minutes to get through the gates, and there were a good amount of masks. And I think people were giving each other space. Everyone was very respectful. No one was really shoving. Everyone was just trying to get in. And once I got inside, mostly had my mask off, except for when I went to the bathroom maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
So didn't really feel too uncomfortable about it, and just kind of be responsible. Not really partaking in anything with anyone outside of myself and my girlfriend. So that's the precautions I'm taking, and just kind of being smart and doing what I've been doing, living in New York City for this whole period and going through all that. I mean, to think about where we started and being in my apartment for several months without much outdoor activity, and now great, I'm back. I'm at a show. We've come a long way here.
Yeah,
don't want to mess it up though. We just got to really stay vigilant and get your vaccine. Do it.
Exactly. So the first set was interesting. I thought there was some. I personally love the mid first set number line. I feel like that doesn't happen very often. It always gets like I always say like to my friends like, sorry you have to hear your favorite guitarist play one of his favorite songs. I hope you survive, but they were getting into it early on, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the number line was coming sooner or later. It's definitely one kind of follows me around. I liked it. It was interesting just because it came right after a Haley's where you're like, okay, maybe they're going to sort of follow suit at some of the other shows and kind of break into some first set jamming. And no, it was a quick stop on a dime right to number line. So there was a little bit of a which happens to me with Numberline a lot. There's a feeling of a little bit of a disappointment, but then as they really Trey's guitar, my notes were his guitar, his 4.0 guitar, as he calls it. It sounds incredible. It's the best tone I've heard from Trey in quite some time. It was very apparent on that, on Divided Sky, on a number of other songs throughout the evening. There was a little shakiness. I thought even the punch opener, there were a couple parts where a little stumble around the landlady segment. It's Ice as well. I love It's Ice. It's a great song. I'm never going to be unhappy to hear that song. A couple like little rough spots, nothing that really bothered me. And then again, About to Run, really excited. I was actually, I think I put that on my pre-show wish list. It's my favorite track on Ghost of the Forest. And, again, really ripping, just the whole crowd. I was actually in the beer line, and there was a guy right next to me. We were both going nuts on the liar part, so just really dug it. And then the coil too was really well played, really pretty. I would say the first set, got going as it got more dark out. Really love everything I'm seeing from Chris Kuroda happening. To see this, it does not translate on the webcast when you're in person. There's just more dimensions that come at you with this show. And end of the first set and pretty much the entire second set, he just really had me entranced with everything he was doing. Yeah,
it was pretty amazing. I thought the beginning of the set, the sort of Punch Strawberry Letter sample Haley's was like they were just trying to get a feel for it. It felt like a lot of the first set was sort of getting a feel for it. The new Mike song was pretty cool. Mall.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty fun.
Funky jam on that song, and I thought they really got that going. That one's going to have some potential, and if I'm going to hear a new Mike song, I'm happy to hear that all day. Let him do his thing. And any of the individual band members bringing their project songs in, I think is welcome by me. It's what the band's always done, and I think we'll see a few more debuts from Mike or Paige, maybe. Who I know is working on a lot of stuff as the tour goes on.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And the Squirming Coil, I was with a colleague who I think saw Phish in like '92 in college or something, but hasn't seen them since. And we brought him last night, and watching. I was just kind of like watching him watch the Squirming Coil. Just it's such a cool way to end the set, and it was a very like moving uh, end of a set in solo from Page. I thought that was a cool way to end.
Oh yeah.
And then the second set. So we had a couple. Jay, like you said, I think this was the first show of the tour where there weren't any kind of big jams in the first set. Divided Sky was the longest song.
Undermine too had like a couple moments where Trey, and I remember actually your guy Ryan from Trey's Guitar Rig, who you had on I think the last show, point out a couple of Trey's new sounds, and I definitely heard some of that. This really kind of it's a very kind of low sort of not scratchy but like distorted, cool pedal effect that I heard a little bit in Undermine, and I think that might have been the only Fish sample of the entire night. It was a very quick wicka wicka, and I think we were all kind of anticipating a few more of his hijinks, and maybe he just wasn't feeling it tonight.
Yeah.
No,
I hope our commentary about it didn't affect his. I don't want him to not have fun because of us. So the second set was like, I don't know what you thought about the jams, the No Men, the Light. I think were the two highlights. But what was your take on the set overall?
I mean, even at set break, I tweeted that I was kind of yearning for a little more improv because there was not much to speak of in the first set. But the second set kind of did the same thing they did the previous show, where you've got kind of that quick warm up song a la Party Time, which is always fun, always welcome. But then you feel that okay, the 2 slot is going to be the heavy hitter of the set, and I think No Man's was definitely that. Another one you've been sort of waiting for them to drop this tour, and they obviously have loved playing it in the last couple of years. I've seen a lot of really good versions. This one was way up there. A lot.
And you could hear. You could hear I was just going to say the Page thing. Like you can tell he's bringing a lot to that jam particularly.
Yeah, I think if you want to talk the 3.0 to 4.0 semantics, just listen to the Page and what he's doing now, which I think is very kind of new and a new musical idea coming from him with all these synthesizer sounds, and there were some really good, just pretty like kind of D major peaks at the end of that No Man's jam. A nice little kind of wall of sound. I think at that point I was like, yes, this is it. Now I feel like I'm really at the Fish show. We're back. I had a huge smile at that point. I was just really loving it, and carried it well into Ruby Waves, I thought too, which everyone always talks about some of those epic versions like Alpine. This was a good version. There was definitely some really interesting minutes, and again, Trey's guitar tone to me just kept coming out very, very strongly all throughout that second set. A little bit of a what the fuck moment when it kind of abruptly dropped into Possum though, because I would have loved the Ruby Waves jam to keep going a couple more minutes, but I mean the crowd was obviously very amped to hear like the Possum. It's always gonna raise the energy of the crowd. But it was a little bit of a left turn at that point. I thought it seemed like they could have kept that thing going on the Ruby, and I heard a little more of the Let It Grow kind of tease, which I think I may have heard back in Arkansas and maybe again in Atlanta. I've heard it a couple of times, and I also even thought I heard something that resembled like Timber Ho or When the Saints Go Marching, and there were a couple little licks that kind of came into these jams, and some stuff in light as well, which was really welcome, really well played light.
Yeah, those were really fun. Yeah, the Possum is like, I've said on our podcast a lot of times, it's like not my favorite song, but I do like the energy with the crowd at that point was pretty cool. I thought that was like, it was an interesting placement, but it worked with the crowd. Like everyone was going nuts.
Yeah, definitely great. That, and then Loving Cup as well. Just great energy, just the whole crowd singing along, very, very amped about it. And I think they wanted to kind of have those moments. And Trey, I remember even said like, "Oh, you guys are beautiful. It's a sea of love out there," or something like that. Maybe he said ocean of love. I don't know. One of those things that Trey likes to throw in there.
So You Enjoy Myself was, I think, a pretty like good version, kind of standard, for this era. But right when they dropped into it again, the crowd, I thought, it felt like pretty happy to go there, which is cool. And then the Loving Cup, what a rocking encore. I feel like did we talk about Loving Cup yesterday? I feel like that was one of the songs that we were talking about
possibly
lunch.
emerging. Definitely. I think one we said we might hear that one tonight. Couple more covers last night than the first couple of shows, because you had Strawberry Letter 23 also.
Yep.
And since they haven't repeated yet, I think that they're going to maybe start leaning on a couple more of their covers. I'm hoping maybe tonight will be the Cross-Eyed night. I think that'd be great. I think you're going to see a few more getting those covers and maybe some improv there. But no complaints with Love and Cup for me at any time. My other comment on Yem, well played, pretty straightforward, but obviously first one of the tour, and very, very happy to hear it. First time hearing it in year and a half last time I was at a show, but that was really, really strong. I thought we kept saying, all right, is this when the vocal jam? Is this when Fishman starts bringing the samples? No, he didn't do it. He didn't take the bait, but honestly, always happy to hear Yem. And just perfect evening, perfect night, beautiful setting. Good way to be back. I just, it's a lot of fun last night. A lot of just good feelings to be back in what for me is a happy place.
Yeah, for sure. I was wondering, what do you think about as a musician? I mean, what do you think about they had a day off before the show in Nashville, and I think they came into this, like, I feel like over the past several years, sometimes the first night of a 2 or 3 night run is the stronger of the nights. That's been the case like in a few recent tours, but I feel like last night was the first show of the tour where they really were kind of searching for some kind of connection that I feel like they got pretty strongly in every other show. I don't know if you agree, but I mean, it was a blast to be back, and I'm so excited to go tonight, and I'm very grateful. But I'm just wondering, from a musical perspective, like, do you agree with that? And if so, like, what do you think that is? Is it just like sometimes that happens? I don't know. What's your perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just to be honest, you think about how strong they were, those Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows last week in Alabama and Atlanta, and Atlanta just top shelf that Sunday night. It's going to be hard to sort of keep that. It's been, maybe the day off in that case might have like stalled a little bit of momentum, but I think they came in. Obviously, they were sound checking a bunch of different songs. I think the Mike song, while they had sound checked a couple times, they definitely wanted to say, hey, we're going to bring in some new ideas. We're going to keep adding new material here. They weren't so worried about, is this going to be like a perfect flow of an evening? And sometimes that happens at a Fish show. It's not always going to make the most sense. Or Trey will say, you know what, I'm moving on to this idea now. So sometimes, as much as you want it to go in a different direction, or you want to see that jam go another 5-10 minutes, that's not always going to be the case in this era. I think that said, we still have hopefully a great show ahead of us tonight. There's plenty of material. If they continue not repeating anything, there's a lot of good possibilities for tonight. I think it just happens sometimes. If you're a musician, you're saying, I'm going to put like my new thoughts out here. It may not necessarily be the exact setting that the crowd is hoping for, because they just wanted the tour to keep going up and up and up from Atlanta. At some point, there's going to be up and downs. There's going to be many more like crazy shows on this tour. I've seen enough to be convinced of that, and hopefully tonight will be the case. Last night was a really fun, but probably fairly average Fish show. Yeah,
and I think it's interesting, because I don't think that any of those jams were necessarily like rip-corded strongly. You know what I mean? It just sort of like, it felt like Trey was sort of like moving on to the next idea more quickly than he has the past several nights. But like, that's just how it goes,
Sometimes that's how it goes sometimes.
But being in the venue and being with friends and seeing people, we had so many people who came up to us and just thanked me and Matt for all the Osiris stuff. It's really amazing to see. That's like, it's really gratifying. So thank you, everybody who came up and said hello. Please keep doing that.
Yeah, you had some fans outside the Ryman too. I remember that. That was amusing.
It's in this very small corner of the universe. There's like people know who we are, which is great.
Love it.
So you talked about Cross-Eyed. I feel like a Mercury is due. Anything else that you're hoping for or thinking about?
Yeah, I think it's 2001 time. I think this is the way to do it. I want to see this Kuroda rig with the 2001 in all its glory. I think that'd be great. I think the crowd will be very welcome to that. And I think Split Open and Melt seems like it's looming as well. Could be a great first set closer, perhaps. Maybe Bowie. We'll see. I mean, I've seen a couple Bowies in 3.0. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I remember seeing some great ones in the 90s. And Bowie is a song that I don't know if they've really – I'm trying to think of a version that has been, kind of upper echelon in the last couple of years. Love the song. I want them to feel passionate about playing it too. Those are a few. I also would love to hear, honestly, besides Mercury, which you pointed out. I think they've played almost every song off Sigma Oasis' tour except for Mercury, and also Leaves. Leaves is one of my favorite tracks on that album. It is just so well produced and beautiful, and it would be great in sort of a cool down spot, I think, tonight. So I think hopefully we're getting some or all of those tunes, but I'm just again happy to be back. I'll be happy with anything they play. I like
Andy. My friend Andy just posted this comment. I don't know if you can see it. That's actually a great. That's maybe maybe that's a second set opening sequence there. If you're watching, take note. I'm sure you are. So they also soundchecked 2 Lonely Trip songs last night, according to Fish.net. I Never Left Home and Lonely Trip. I really want to hear Evolve. I'd love to hear just more of the Lonely Trip stuff in some spot, that where it works. So songs are so good. I feel like they kind of got passed over in the. I mean, Trey was just creating so much music, like Sigma Oasis hit and was like huge, and everyone listened to it, a lot. And then like Lonely Trip kind of got passed over a little bit, and I feel like we talked about this yesterday, but I feel like it deserves to be revisited.
Oh yeah, I think we'll see a lot of those songs that'll pop up across the tour. There's plenty of time for that to happen. I'd quite frankly be happy to hear it. I've never needed you like this before. I think that's one that may pop up 2, 3, 4 times on this tour. It's just such a strong rock song. It's got great emotion behind it. So I'd be thrilled to hear that one. Or even some other kind of, I'm looking at this note too. A 4-win Harpo, I think. Sure.
Sounds great.
Bring it on. That's fine with me.
Let's do it.
I kind of think that might happen a little bit later. I'll be in Atlantic City. That could be a good time for it too. Putting that out there.
Yeah, just putting it out there. Definitely won't be in Hershey where you won't be. Don't worry. Thanks everybody for commenting. Throw additional comments out there. So Seth, in terms of this tour, like how do you feel like it's shaping up, and where do you think it goes from here? I mean, we kind of were talking about it with the ebbs and flows of tour, but where do you think we'll end up at the end of this thing?
I think the band's in a really good creative space right now. Again, Trey with his new guitar and some of his really cool new pedals or effects he's going through, what Paige is doing. Obviously, Fishman's been having a lot of fun, but his drumming sounds really good. And I know Mike, I've seen some of his Instagram videos talking about kind of his rig and his setup. He sounded great last night too. He was really popping for me at a couple points. Even like the Yem bass solo, he sounded really, really strong. And I know there were some complaints that he wasn't loud enough, or he was having a couple of difficulties. I think hopefully they've shook that off, and they're feeling very dialed in. The whole production, I think, seems very dialed in. So if you haven't seen a show yet, you've got some good stuff coming your way. There's
for sure. Bart, hey Bart, save some Monster Jams for Tahoe. I think there's plenty of Monster Jams to go around. There's more Monster Jams than Micro Jams this tour. So
I'm hoping if last night was Micro Jam night, tonight's Monster Jam night.
Yeah.
Let's knock on wood here, but
it's gonna be fun.
Either way, I mean, this has been a great experience. This is one of my first real kind of music-related vacations since all this COVID stuff happened. I couldn't think of a better town than Nashville. There's a lot going on. I just felt great energy. Even last night, walking out of the venue, going down Broadway, where did we pop into? I'm trying to remember the bar we went into, but there was this like Dead cover band playing. We only lasted a song or two because it was honestly very crowded, and we were a little uncomfortable just because it was just completely at capacity. Kept our masks on, listened to a couple songs, and dipped out. But this is a really cool town, and I know Fish is also loves Nashville. They've recorded a lot of stuff here too, and hopefully that they're feeling the energy of the city. I'm definitely. This will not be my last trip to Nashville. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, same here. Was that Daniel Donato playing that you saw? Because I popped into a bar and saw him, and he was playing some original stuff with some Dead stuff as well.
It was a bit. I don't know. They were like these really young guys. I'm trying to remember I'm just looking at my notes.
Was it Robert's Boot Shop or whatever?
No, it wasn't. I'm
Okay, Robert's Western Store.
Give me a minute. It was Robert's Western World.
Okay, so that was it. Yeah, so that was Daniel Donato.
Oh, so we didn't bump it. So you went there too. We just probably
it must have been after. I felt a little sketched out in there. I was with my friend Scott, and I don't know. It's just like every time you walk into a place, like I walk in with my mask on, and then I start drinking a beer, and then I don't have my mask on anymore, and I'm like, I guess this is how this works. And then
you gotta kind of we've done a couple. I mean, we did the Trey Beacon show, and no mask in there at all. Everyone was vaccinated though, but you're sitting right next to someone. I did the Humphreys Levon Helm show, same thing. Very crowded little barn. So at some point, you're taking a little bit of a risk, but be responsible, be vaccinated, take care of your health, and if something happens, you're going to hopefully bounce back and you'll be fine because the vaccine works. So this is our sort of the sword we fall on as music fans. We want it to happen. It's going to be part of our well-being emotionally and kind of spiritually in a way. To see music and in 2021, this is kind of what we're encountering. You just got to keep rolling on it and think positively.
Yeah, I agree. And then, like you said at the beginning, I mean, this is not I don't know. I guess I was going to say this is like, we shouldn't be getting into controversial subjects on our recaps, but getting vaccinated should not be a controversial topic. It's good for everybody, so everyone should do that.
If you want Fish to stay on tour, get vaccinated. We want the band, we want the crew to be healthy. Luckily, it seems like for the most part, things have been going good. I haven't really seen, and I've been tracking different, social media posts. Most of the conversation has been about the music and like that's how it should be. I've not heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, I went and I tested positive," and it's probably going to happen sooner or later. But there's been baseball games full capacity. They've been okay. Just be smart, be respectful. Get vaccinated, stay home if you're not feeling well, and we'll keep this thing going and hopefully get through this. There's still a long way for everybody to go here, but
for sure. Yeah,
and keep on moving.
I want to say, Justin Bruce just commented. Apparently, we went to the honky tonk, so we did a good job. Maybe we'll check out Layla's tonight. I do know the crew and everyone around the band is all fully masked and fully like they're keeping everything super tight and everyone's being super safe and that's pretty awesome because they want nothing more than to keep this thing going, of course. And Linda, thank you for your comments. Best thing about right now, we're talking about live Phish shows again.
Yes.
Cannot overestimate that. Seth, so I'll see you at the show tonight. And like I said at the beginning, if anyone's out there, you see us, say hi. We have stuff to give to you, and we'd love to say hi.
Can't wait.
I think that's everything. I hope everyone has a good day. And thanks again. This is again presented by Shift Genuine Cannabis. We'll be talking about a lot more. Go to shiftcannabis.com to enter the Vegas contest. Seth, are you going to enter the Vegas contest?
I am going to enter the Vegas contest. I'll be hopefully be in Vegas. I'll be in Dick's too. So I got plenty of shows ahead of me. And thanks, Helping Friendly Podcast, Osiris. Keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see y'all soon.